Willian, he goes again. Finished up by Hazard! What a finish! Hazard's at it again. Today, when we look at the career of Eden Hazard, we will find out whether the pressures of fans and family expectations, because after all, Hazard, his brother Torgan, his younger brother Kylian, his parents, they were all brought up in a sporting landscape, one way or another. So today we will analyse whether these pressures or any other factors in Hazard's career, like his laziness to really take advantage of his whole God-given potential almost, would these affect his performances at any stage in his career, or would Hazard go on to be the player that everyone knew he could be? Well, today we will find out about the career of Eden Hazard. Starting off his career lower down, he played for Stade Bouennat and FC Tubize, before later getting scouted by Lille, and obviously later on in his career getting recommended by Zinedine Zidane. So, today, Eden Hazard, obviously he didn't get any real senior appearances despite impressing lower down, and started to get his goals in the 08-09 season, where he managed to get 6 goals and 4 assists, and that was just a slight little bump of what Eden Hazard could do, because those numbers would skyrocket for the rest of his career. In the 09-10 season he followed that up with even more, with 10 goals and 13 assists, before in the 10-11 season 12 goals and 14 assists. And also at this point Eden Hazard was starting to play in Europe. He was getting Europa League brilliant performance, and he started to get the number 10 from the number 36 at the start of his career at the age of 20. And this was just what Eden Hazard could do, even though at times his want to do well in his career, his attitude, his effort could sometimes be questioned. Numbers like that don't lie. His European performances, his link up with the likes of Gervinho, not to mention that he was only 20, and in the 11-12 season he finished off his Lille career with 22 goals and 22 assists, meaning that by the time he left Lille he had 50 goals and 53 assists. Not to mention that he helped Lille win the league in the 10-11 season and the Coupe de France. What a performance from Eden Hazard. And Eden Hazard, the question he was asking now, the question he was teasing was, where would he go next? The Lille fans knew how good he was. The Lille fans, but maybe they knew inside that they couldn't keep hold of this guy for long. They knew that he was scoring brilliant goals like this week in, week out, like this goal against Olympique Marseille, that eventually the big teams will be sniffing for the next big thing, and he was Eden Hazard from Belgium. And it didn't help either that Eden Hazard was saying, I'm signing for the Champions League winners, but who would they be? Well, eventually Hazard would choose Chelsea, and he would join Chelsea for 32 million on the 4th of June 2012. And Hazard would start off brilliantly. When he had starlights on his side like Frank Lampard and John Terry, he would score a goal every 120 minutes. As in his first season, he got 13 goals and 21 assists, where he would go on to win the Europa League, despite getting injured in the final. And he would just keep going. Hazard would just keep playing like the player he was. Effortless player, the player that he could just dribble. He was a player that caused the best players in the Premier League problems. He could dance everywhere, he could dribble inside, he was the little Belgian sensation. And he would keep that going, as in the 13-14 season he would get 17 goals and 8 assists, despite missing out on the league again, finishing 3rd, and going out in the Champions League semi-final to Atletico and losing the Super Cup to Bayern. His solo performances would gain heavy notoriety from managers like Jose Mourinho and his idol Zinedine Zidane. But after winning trophies, he won the Premier League in the 14-15 season and the Europa League in his first season. Hazard would eventually go on to again win the PFA Young Player of the Year in the 27th of April 2014, and in terms of the real full Player of the Year for every player in the Premier League, he would finish runner-up to the eventual winner, Luis Suarez. Although I don't think many people were surprised, Hazard was destined for greatness when he signed for Chelsea. After all, he did win the Player of the Year for Lille as well in the 10-11 season, where we did again, like I said before, go on to win the league in the 10-11 season. Now, don't get me wrong, Hazard definitely wasn't lucky in his career. Like, go and watch Ozil, a player that had brilliant talent that many other players in the game just didn't know how to do. But yet, apart from the World Cup, was denied every single big trophy. Yeah, you see, even though Hazard would just never, I'm gonna say it now, he never won anything with the Belgian Golden Generation, like in the Euro 2016 getting knocked out in the quarterfinals to Wales, but Hazard was still starring, and by this point Hazard had won Premier League with Chelsea, he had managed to win a Europa League with Chelsea, not to mention his League One title and League One Cup with Lille. That's 4 big trophies for Hazard already in his career, and we're only touching 2015. Not to mention all his Young Player of the Year was in individual trophies for the goal and assist he was getting. Hazard was a different person. Okay, now I'm going to propose to you the sandwich theory. You see, in obviously the 14-15 season, Hazard would get 19 goals and 12 assists where he would go on to win the league. But, yeah, in the middle of the sandwich, you could say, in the middle of this analogy, Hazard didn't really have the best season. You see, when everyone was talking about Leicester City's brilliant 5,000 to 1 odds, yet they somehow managed to win the Premier League, people might not have realised that Eden Hazard only got 6 goals and 7 assists in that season. No Champions League goals either. Mourinho was sacked that year, and Hazard wouldn't even get his first goal until match day 35 versus Bournemouth. Not the classic Eden Hazard we all know today. But in the 16-17 season, he would bring it back and he would get 17 goals and 6 assists. Classic Eden Hazard, where he would win the league under Conte with 93 points. That was the sandwich theory, where Eden Hazard had 2 brilliant Premier League seasons where he'd win the league in 2 of them, but yet have a weird season in the middle. Was that, though, and this is a slight little theory, was that a sign of the Eden Hazard that we can see when he doesn't always put his all into the play he wants to be? Was there a point in Eden Hazard's career where he just gave up? And because of that, it affected his on-field performances for the first time in his career. Was that something we would see in the future? Well, in the 17-18 season, Hazard would have what I would like to call a step sideways, where he would finish 3rd place in the World Cup. Once again, he was brilliant though, and despite 30 goal contributions in all competitions, he was dumped out the Champions League by Barcelona in the last 16. He finished 5th in the league, so once again another poor performance in the league after winning the Premier League. But he did win the FA Cup when he was crucial in the game against the lacklustre Manchester United. But once again, I must say that Hazard was still having brilliant performances. He had 10 dribbles, which was the first time that someone had done that in the World Cup since 1966. Which signalled, however, that did signal though that Hazard had a different personality and he could sometimes struggle with his fitness. Is that a problem that could come up in the rest of his career? But who would always be a Chelsea legend. 7 days later, after playing his last game for Chelsea in the Europa League final, he would sign for Real Madrid for a fee that exceeded 100 million. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure Hazard, he was a FIFA 20 cover star, so everyone thought he'd be brilliant, and he scored brilliant goals like his first one, recreated by me, against RB Salzburg. But just look at this, because this is all you need to know about Eden Hazard's career. Like, limited opportunities for months, and because of that, 7 goals and 12 assists, that's a shadow of his former self. That's almost as worse as the 15-16 season where Leicester won the Premier League. Hazard had fallen. Because this is one of the biggest mysteries of football. What happened to the Belgian wonder? This is the story of Eden Hazard.